Welcome back to Chatting and Gassing, everybody. This is a GTA 1% biker talk show where we dive deep into the MC culture and the clubs within our community. And today we are back with another banger. Everybody give it up for the one and only Exiled MC. Definitely one of the older clubs still riding hard out here. Um, so before we get into the talking segment, let's go ahead and introduce today's hosts and today's guests. I'm Crazyboy, Hell Riders MC founder and current Nat Press. Passing the mic.
Yo, what is up? It is your boy Odin, formerly known as Cosmo, Vespucci president, passing the mic.
What's good? It's your boy Kush, Toledo Bay president, passing Mike to Exile.
Hello. This is the Cranberry. I'm the mother chapter president of the Exiled MC.
One of our
passing
founding
the mic.
members.
I'm one of the founding members.
Yes,
passing
sir.
the mic to Dirk.
Hello, I'm Scumbag. I am the Sergeant at Arms for the Bantam Canyon chapter. I've been in the club since March 2017. I'm passing the mic to Gunslinger if he has done stuff in his face.
Why are you gonna say passing? Whatever. Gunslinger here. I'm the shut up. I'm the vice president of the Mother chapter. As of next month, I'll actually be celebrating my 8th year as a full patch.
Hell yeah, bro. That's
Big time.
quite an accomplishment, man.
Hey Rolo, speak up.
Yo, what's up? Name's Rolo, Bantam's road captain. Been here for about a year.
Yes, sir.
Diablo.
My name's Diablo. I'm the enforcer for the LS chapter. I've been here for almost 2 years.
Yes, sir. Is that the end of the roster for tonight?
Yeah, I think that's who's gonna make it tonight.
Okay. Well, appreciate everybody that was free, you know what I'm saying, to come do this. Two things. So, any of these questions can be answered by anybody, you know what I'm saying, that you guys want to represent your club. Like, once one question be answered, you know, anybody can add on to that question, you know, if they feel like it. And two, this is Chatting and Gassing, so make sure you know what I'm saying, spark up that jizzoint, you know what I'm saying, spark up them bowls, no Reggie allowed.
I ain't putting anything I ain't gonna put anything that starts with jizz in front of my face. I don't think that's gonna,
Whoa! Oh my god.
I think that's gonna happen.
He said, I don't think it's gonna happen. Hey, so let's get into this. So could you guys explain to the new generation who Exiled MC is and how you guys got established?
Well, so Exiled were established in 2015 during a time where, you know, this is pre-biker DLC, so rock.
If you don't mind me asking, my bad to cut you off. Who is this talking?
So this is McCringleberry talking. I'm
Okay.
the mother chapter president, one of the founders. So when we were established, this was before, like, you had a safe house or a clubhouse to claim as your clubhouse. You know, we would have to go to we have buildings we claim as our clubhouses, actual locations as our territory that we established. You know, a lot of people that are here now, a newer generation, will probably look at the safe house near LS over here as like, oh, that's our clubhouse. We actually have places to go where we claim as our territory. This is our established clubhouse. So, you know, we come from a generation where, you know, it's very, very old school, you know, compared to, you know, I guess what people are seeing now. You know, there's people out there before us, you know, that's kind of a little old school than us, but I would say we're definitely one of the more active ones to this day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clubs that we knew of once upon a time that are long gone, have rebranded, have tried to start back up and shut back down again, and a lot of them say it's forever till something happens and they're all gone.
Yeah. Yeah, shit, I mean, just from the little bit of time that we've been around, man, we didn't see that a lot with a few clubs. So, I mean, with the rep you guys have and the time under your guys' belt, I know you probably have seen that more than, you know what I'm saying, you would like to, you know. What was your guys' official start date?
June 25th, 2015.
Damn. So basically, you guys have over, what, 8 years? A little bit over 8 years.
8 years. We'll celebrate our 9th anniversary this summer.
Hell yeah, that's lit. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a long time to, commit yourself to, something like this. What would you say was the main thing that really kept you guys motivated and kept you guys, wanting to keep Exiled's brand within the community? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's definitely the people that is a part of this family.
Yeah.
We
focus on ourselves. Sorry, Gringo.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Dark.
I mean, I was gonna say we mainly this is scumbag, Dark, whatever.
My bad.
You're fine. But like we mainly that's the other thing that sets us apart from the community is like we focus on our people and on ourselves, but like we do observe, but we don't entertain the majority of the dumb shit that this community brings about.
Yeah.
Like we real recognize real, you know what I mean? But
Definitely.
so we see the real shit.
It's as both of those two pointed out, it's definitely the people. This is Gunslinger. It's definitely the people. It's the relationships that you built. I mean, I'm not a founding member, but I've still been here the better part of a decade. Mm-hmm. And there's people in this club that we have been through any and every life situation you can think of. Moves across the country, moves to different countries, changing of jobs, births of children, deaths, marriages, divorces. I mean, anything you can possibly think of. We've been one of the few constants in each other's lives over that time frame. I mean, I know I'm in a very different spot than I was, 9 years ago when I first started talking to some of the guys in the club, and I've moved a couple times since then. I've changed jobs, about with the exception of my wife. This club is about one of the only things that's been the same since then.
Yeah, makes sense. So definitely, so you guys definitely done seen some turmoil in your days. You know what I'm saying? Some things that can make and break. You know what I'm saying? Say club.
I think that there's been we've kind of made up our minds that there's nothing externally that can really affect us in that manner. Like if there was anything that would ever break this club, it has to be an internal decision. It would have to be a mutual thing for all of the members to say we don't want to do this anymore, and I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah.
But the community's certainly changed over the last 10 years, and the way clubs interact, the way clubs act, the way clubs present themselves, the general vibe has gone through several different phases over the years.
Definitely bipolar community. So who's sitting here would have like the most time, not in Exiled, but in the community in general, like out of your guys' club? Because this is a question for you.
I'd probably point at Kringle for that one.
It's kind of added on to what you just said about the community changing, man. Would you say the community back then when you first came in, you know what I'm saying, first started, was it as war-oriented as it is today? Like, because it seems like because we're newer, pretty much every guy in our club is newer. Nobody here really has any type of like ties to any other club outside of Hell Riders. So like, what we noticed, man, is like every club is about TDM, about scorecard this, CBC this, I got your patch. Like that's the only thing we really see, content wise or even in lobby wise. Like, would you say the community has always been as war oriented as it is today?
Yeah. I mean, this is Grand Theft Auto. There's going to be a lot of fighting. There's a lot of shooting guns and all that. Especially when it comes to free aim. But then there was more. The play style has changed over the years. So like the running a gun, the honor, the shooting, like out in the open. That's not kind of the same as it is what you see now, where PS5, especially, people have a lot of modded accounts, fast run, the sliding, the whatever you see now, you know.
Yeah.
So fighting has always been there. It's part of, I would say, the community, or like the role playing aspect part of it, but it had more meaning back then. You know, when you actually fought over territory, you didn't fight over scorecards. You didn't fight over, you know, oh, I stabbed you or whatever. Like, yeah, you take patch pics with your phone, and you know, the whole community was on Social Club back then too. It wasn't all Instagram, so that was a totally different vibe as well. So
Instagram has definitely changed.
Operated.
Yeah.
That's I agree with Gunslinger. You know, you could change a narrative in a fight with on Instagram. You could do whatever. You know, so yeah. I mean, I would say it's always been combat focused, but the vibe was different. There was more pride. Clubs actually meant some shit back then, and now it's just it is all about scorecards. It is all about fighting and stuff. So
there was a lot less up on you drama. There was a lot less, like, there was a lot less call outs and all this advanced, like, scheduled stuff.
It was more lobby, you know, we fought today.
Yeah, it was more on the spot. Like, it used to be, like, and I've pointed this out a couple times when people, like, because we were talking about the whole, the CBs and people asking for 2s or 3s or whatever. And what that used to be is we'd have lobby fights, and you'd catch some club, and they'd invite people, and we'd invite people, and you'd end up going back and forth. And if it was sort of at a stalemate, or, you know, some third party showed up with a jet or a tank or whatever, and it just kind of, it took the fun out of it, and it stopped just being those clubs, it was... The CBs and the TDMs were a way out of that. Like, it was, hey, you've got 4 people right now, we've got 4 people, let's do a 4v4, and someone would throw up a TDM, you guys would do that, and then go about your business. It wasn't like, oh, well, like 3 weeks from now, you need to be here, and if you don't answer this call out on in the next 24 hours on Instagram, you guys are ducking, and we'll call that a loss for you, or you know, we're going to post a private lobby war in 2 weeks, you know, you guys better be there. And it was never the advanced schedule shit. It was always sort of right here, right now, whatever's fucking going on, we'll deal with that.
Yeah, man, definitely. I wish that's, you know, still how it was, man, because they can definitely get obnoxious on their, you know, Instagram with tagging you and, you know, but so what is Exiled's views or opinions on how a proper GTA 1% club should operate?
Well, that can vary. You know, I think every club it's supposed to be unique in its own way. It shouldn't try to mimic or try to copy how another club is operating. You know, I think what makes you stand out compared to what makes us stand out is you got your own vibe going on with your own people and personalities, and that's what makes up your club, and that's what we got going on over here. You know, everyone has their first 9, or something's maybe copied from Sons of Anarchy, or something they might have seen from Gangland, you know, what they show on there. You know, come up with your own shit, come up with your own flashes, come up with your own culture. You know, that's kind of the whole point. That's what makes you stand out. I mean, that's all barred about who you bring in too. You know, if you have like-minded individuals who are not like power hungry, they're not TDM heads, they're not this and that. They're actually here to game and fuck with you and be your friend. You know, that's a very successful way of becoming like a club that can have longevity and, you know, just have a healthy thing going on. It's not always about the game too, you know.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of different, I mean, like Kringle said, there's all these clubs have their own vibe, and you should be somehow unique. There's so many different things to say what is or isn't a successful club. And I think a lot of people, because of the because of the social media component to it, they're comparing themselves to other clubs a lot because they see what everybody else is doing. They see kill comps, or they see modded PC content, or they see whatever everybody else is doing, and they look at that and like, oh well, why aren't we doing that? Or we should do more of that, or how come we're not like that? And but I mean, the core question was what makes a successful GTA 1% club, and the basic answer is to be a motorcycle club. Like there needs to like that should be the core of it. Is we're all into motorcycles, we're all into sort of in some capacity role playing as bikers, because I mean this isn't something that you have to do on this game. This like you can dress however you want, you can drive whatever sort of vehicles you want, you can function and operate however you want. We're choosing to present as motorcycle club, so you should be interested in that culture and that sort of
be the actual 1% of the community.
Yeah, that attitude, that vibe. But it's one of those things where it's like a lot of these guys, like they're lobby war crews, they're fight crews, they're gun clubs, they're whatever, they're TDM clubs. And you can still be a club, and you can have that component, and like you can all have the same direction or vibe or whatever, but you're not a motorcycle club unless the focus is on being a motorcycle club.
Yeah, would you say, like, everybody gets that, like, Jax Teller badass mentality when they start a club. And you'll be surprised, like, how many people, like, are misled by what a GTA 1% is. They think they're, like, the actual 1%er, like, and, they think they should move, like, 1%ers in IRL. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, some of these guys create their own fantasy, and they get confused and think that whatever they created is real, and they can they think that they buy into their own bullshit.
I think the actual 1% of GTA or of the community,
or just GTA in general.
Yeah,
just think about how the way you play this game. You ride bikes, you use ARs, you limit yourself compared to the average dude that just got off work and he shoots an RPG at somebody. Or that's just the way he plays the game. Like, we are actually the 1% of people who are being a club, being something that no one else plays the game the way we do it in this small community of people that have like-minded ideas and wants to do the same thing.
And man, I can't agree with you more, on that, because like, that's something I literally tell like any new recruit here, bro. Like, when we give them a rundown on these rules, like, it sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but that's what makes us 1% of GTA. You see what I'm saying? And they understand, that diamond a little bit more when I break it down to them like that. Even you'll be surprised how many people from other clubs that come here and try out, and I break that down to them, and they're like, man, I never really looked at it like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not all about the 1% of fighting. It's just about how way you conduct yourself on this game and how you operate.
Yeah. We're the weird ones. I think a lot of people don't understand that. We're the strange people that come up with our own rules, and we have our own restrictions, and we add all this extra stuff into just playing GTA. And like, you get into the community discords and some of them, and they're like, oh, I can't believe somebody wouldn't abide by these rules. I'm like, this is all made up otter code, shit that we've decided, just arbitrarily decided that we're gonna do. Like, there's not a prize for being the most 1% GTA MC, and really there's not much of a punishment for ignoring it entirely.
Yeah.
This is just a thing we do.
What we prefer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some great answers to that question. So, well, before I move on, does anybody else here want to add on to that? I didn't mean to, All right, so do you think older 1% clubs, with 3 or more years under their belt, gets targeted more than a newer club, that's trying to, get roots planted?
Well, you get a lot of people who are kind of recycled in the community that constantly will, shut down, branch off under a new name, under a new club. So, of course, a club that's been established with some years under their belt is going to stand out more, I think, to probably a newer club that wants to maybe get their name out there. And, of course, when we're talking about fighting or whatever, or going on Instagram, posting a picture of you stabbing a member of Exiled, and it's like, oh, look what I did to this club that's been around, and now you get this attention, or whatever, the motive is. It could be around that, or it could be a respect thing where it's very rare where someone comes up and actually is like, hey, you want to go for a ride, and actually be a club, and that's how you kind of establish a respect, or just introducing yourself instead of always trying to stab somebody, or it's always some sneaky shit.
Roll up to
We were just
someone and
talking
don't
about-
shoot them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about that earlier, Kriggle, where it's the guys you said about people being recycled. We'll have people that have some sort of grudge against us for whatever reason, that may have happened years ago, and they've since changed clubs multiple times. They've changed PSN names and accounts multiple times. And they'll have some sort of axe to grind and be like, oh, you remember me? Like, fucking no. Am I supposed to?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I had a different name and a different crew. And they're like, okay, so why the fuck would I remember you if I don't even recognize who the fuck you are now? Like, you're in GTA Witness Protection. Like, you got a whole new identity. I don't know who the fuck you are.
You did create a club.
Like, I'm still me.
But it's each club you create. Like, that's a you problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they do that a lot, bro. It's very cringy.
But I mean, as far as like what clubs are respected or how they're targeted or treated, I think that the community has too short of an attention span for that really to be a factor. There's always another club showing up. There's always somebody that's been around, and we'll get those questions like, "Oh man, I thought you guys shut down. I haven't seen you in a minute." I'm like, "We haven't gone anywhere." But you're paying more attention to us than I ever have to you, because I don't even know who the fuck you are. But you're watching us. You're looking for us. So like, what does that say about what your priorities are?
Yeah. Yes, and like so like what what would you say would be like the proper way for a new club to like get a good name out there? Because like our upbringing, we're all about respect. You know what I'm saying? We're all about the community for real, and the culture. Like, I did a bunch of research before I, started Hell Riders. This is my very first 1% club, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely, stumbled across your guys' name when I was in that research, you know what I'm saying? And definitely have a lot of respect for Exiled, and our approach was to come in and not, we're still not a war-oriented club. We never have been since day one. We don't do TDMs. We don't do the patch tripping thing. You know what I'm saying? And so we try to show a lot of respect to these older clubs, but a lot of other people would call it dick riding. Oh, you're just dick riding them to, you know what I'm saying? Get clout, and how's it dick riding when you're showing respect, to clubs that paved the way for your club to be here today. You know what I'm saying? With clubs that's been here 8 years, 6 years, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? These guys really paved the way for your clubs today. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a. It wasn't guaranteed that this community could have started and, stayed, way back then. It could have just been, just a thing, and then it, disappeared. You see what I'm saying? So these clubs have been around, you know what I'm saying, putting that work to keep this community, you know what I'm saying, going. You see what I'm saying?
I think the clubs that are quick to throw out, call somebody else out for dick riding purely because they're not being assholes to everybody, are the ones that have an inferiority complex. They're the ones that
are of respect of.
They're real insecure.
Like, they're not getting the attention or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. They want the attention. They want everybody's eyes on them. They want like, oh, I'm the new fucking president on the block, and everybody should pay attention to me. And they haven't done anything. Like, they haven't established themselves in any way. They decided that they wanted to start a fucking social club crew, and they wanted to be in charge of it. They wanted to call themselves a president, and they think that earns them something, and it doesn't. The reality of it is, I mean, people like to throw out the insult is, oh, well, you're irrelevant. We're all fucking irrelevant. Irrelevant to who? Yeah. Like, if I can't, unless you're some sort of streamer that has 6 figures worth of followers or more, or you have some sort of notoriety for whatever other reason, we're all just motherfuckers that play video games as a hobby, and maybe you're trying to find the people that we sort of mesh with really well. But you get these dudes that like, oh, well, you're not paying enough attention to me, or you're going to respect me. just be genuine. Like, just don't be fake. That's my best advice to fucking anybody. Like, you can be, if who you are is being an asshole, then fucking be an asshole. But like, don't don't expect, like, if all you want to do is get on this game and shoot motherfuckers, then that's what I say. Don't pretend to be something you're not. As I already pointed out, that we're in a role play community, we're already pretending to be something. But the thing is, like, you don't have to lie about what your personality is or what your motives are or any of that shit. Like, just be genuine, and the people who understand that and recognize it will gravitate towards you. And vice versa. Like, you're going to find like-minded people if you keep doing the things that you want to do. If you want to be an MC that hosts events or puts out content like this that's something besides a kill comp, or you guys just want to role play as an MC and do clubhouse contracts and ride around in formation and dress as bikers. If you're doing that in public sessions, people are going to see that, and if that's something that they're interested in, they're going to gravitate towards it. Or if it's another club that sees you doing that, they're going to recognize that's what you're doing and maybe choose to vibe with you or talk to you or engage you in some way. And then there's other assholes that are just going to see that and say, I should just shoot a rocket at them right now. That's what I should do, because that's what they want to do.
Yeah, it makes sense. Alright, so this is my this is gonna be my last question before I go ahead and let Odin ask his questions. So if Exile could give a new 1% club, saying some advice, what would it be? Being that you guys are an older club.
Take no shit, but don't be a dick.
Hey, that should be motto.
It's short and sweet. The focus is always
something too, or just say, just mind your own fucking business and just worry about your own people.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was gonna say. Is focus on yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Fucking, if you build it to last, the right people will show up.
Yeah.
Diablo, you got anything to add?
Yeah.
It's not like to that extent. I think everybody else kind of just sums it off into one. Like, there's a lot of people that they have to be. That's how they get their recognition, is by bothering everybody else. When those clubs literally just disappear within 3 months.
Well, they go and make a new club. You know what I mean?
Well,
exactly.
Well, they expect it to be successful immediately. Like, you're gonna fuck up, and things aren't always gonna work out the way you planned. But if your first inclination is to give up and start over, then you're back where you were, before that. You're not making any progress. Like, there's gonna be ups and downs.
Hell yeah. All right, well, appreciate you guys for your time. Go ahead and pass the floor to Odin, I should say.
Alright, without further ado, we'll end the cut episode with y'all, however many years ago that was. And one thing that was brought up in the beginning of the talking segment on that was that you guys are more of a kind of reserved club. Dirty Work even mentioned it, he pointed out that's a parallel to a lot of real-life MCs. They're more reserved, they don't really give a whole lot of insight into, like, what's going on a daily basis. It's just kind of like a word-of-mouth kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Looking out for number one, again, like a real 1% MC should be doing. Do you believe that trait is more, less, or equally important as it was like 8 years ago in today's kind of so-called political climate?
This is a fucking interview. God.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's like one of the deepest fucking questions I think we've ever been asked on a
especially now more so, dude.
Yeah, I agree with Pringle.
It's kind of like the mystery, dude. Like you said, that word of mouth. Like, you want to establish your rep, dude. You want people to know, like, what the fuck are they up to? Like, why are they so fucking, like, this and that? Like, And of course, like, why do you want people to know your bullshit or want to know your shit, dude? Like, Instagram's a cool way of like showing what they up to. Like, why are these guys like,
Yeah.
You see them riding in the lobby, like, what are they up to? Are they riding somewhere? They're hanging out. Why do they hang out in this area? Why are they, you kind of want to establish like your legend. I don't want to sound cringe about it, but like, that's kind of like, I want to be what makes Hell Riders, like, what's your guys' lore or whatever. You guys have stories, you guys have experiences, but like, I also don't want to know about it because that's what makes you guys as a club. So like, you gotta have like a mystery of it, but like, you also gotta put yourself out there too, because that's what makes people want to gravitate to you, either want to join or be your friend or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You gotta be the boogeyman.
And then,
Yeah.
establish that, that rep, build that history, man. Because like, like people like me, man, like I'm intrigued when it comes to history, and it's like, what's the point of doing it, if nobody's gonna really remember it, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially you guys got hella years under your belt. That's a lot of history that's been made. You see what I'm saying? And I know it feels good when people, maybe even outside y'all club, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you was a part of that history. You know what I'm saying? You seen that it went unrecognized. You know what I'm saying?
I think more to Odin's question about whether or not it's more important. I definitely think it is more important as things have gone on, because it used to be that everybody played things kind of pretty close to the chest because there wasn't that social media component to it. Like, people put out YouTube videos and you may posted pictures, but once Instagram and TikTok and various there's a Facebook GTA MC community, which I think is hilarious, but it's everybody wants to be the center of attention. They want an audience to perform for, and they put all that shit out there. Well, I don't need to know what you guys are talking about at your churches if and when you have church meetings. I don't need to know what your plans are, because that's not my club. Like, I need to know what we're doing. I need to know how we're going to make our decisions, because those aren't impacted by anybody else. And it's sort of what we were saying earlier about, the focus needs to be inward. It needs to be towards whatever your club's goals are, and that will lead you more to success. With the idea of everybody has to be performing all the time. I need validation. I need an audience. I need the views. I need the likes. It's always trying to get other people to pay fucking attention to you, and that's not what clubs are really meant to be about. It's meant to be about building bonds with people and brotherhood and those brothers. Like, it's meant to be that shit. Like, I hate to use the word brotherhood because it's way overused in this community, but that's really what it's meant to be. You're supposed to be building bonds with other people, and that's supposed to be centered around an affinity for motorcycles. And we're in a weird environment where, you can shoot each other, and you can, there's not really any repercussions for killing somebody, or if you fuck up and get shot, you hit the X button and you respawn. Like, it's not quite the same scale, but the basis of it should be the people and the bikes. That should be the two main things that everything else revolves around. It gets more complicated. There are more levels to it. That's why we have bylaws. That's why we have flashes. That's why we have different patches. That's why we have different chapters. That's why we have all the other stuff that goes along with it. But the base is those two things. So it ends up, if everybody knows what you're doing all the time, they don't have any incentive to try to join because they already know what's going on.
So it's almost like they forego their own kind of team building exercises, their own sort of bonding process, but instead opt to perform, like you said, for an audience. Instead, they are more fixated on being the center of attention than they are actually establishing an official organization. It's just that they use the veil of a 1% motorcycle club to put themselves into that position because the opportunity is there.
Absolutely, because that's why you have so many pop-up clubs. That's why you have councils or whatever. It's because somebody wants to be in charge and somebody wants to be able to tell everybody else what to do, and they want to be seen as the one with all the answers.
Right.
In the decade plus that this game has now been out, and the GTA MC community even goes back into GTA 4, so even further back than that, before Social Club was even a thing, people were organizing on GTA forums. So in the decade plus that this community of sorts has existed, I guarantee that whatever ideas or grand scheme that anybody has come up with has been thought of before, or whatever type of club somebody wants to start has existed before, that they could probably try to find and join. The only difference is that whoever has that idea now isn't the president, or isn't in charge.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That is pretty much exactly my thoughts. It seems like a lot of, newer... I say newer, but also some clubs that have been around. It seems like a lot of them are just so derivative, and it's not really anything unique. You know, me and Crazy the other day, we were talking about, the positioning on, flashes and everything, and somebody said, oh, the flashes have to connect. Somebody else said, well, no, they don't. It's like, that's a prime example of, there's tradition, but there's also, your own uniqueness. There's nobody saying that you have to do anything a certain way, but it almost seems like people, default categorize themselves to only being one way and one way only, and it's just it's like a vicious cycle, you know what I'm saying? It's like the same club just keeps popping up again and again and again and again. It's the same thing every time. There's no
new seasons of Mines come out. You'll see another, 5, Hispanic themed clubs. Suns comes out, whatever. You'll see another Reaper.
There's
Reaper
there's
club,
umpteen fucking clubs with Reaper in the name. There's fucking. Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but I remembered seeing a club at one point that had nothing to do with Sons of Anarchy. It wasn't a Sons crew. It wasn't a Reaper anything, but they had a Redwood original patch. As part of their patch. I'm like, that is nothing. That doesn't make sense in this context at all. And like Kringle said, when they announced Mayans, there was a massive influx of Hispanic-themed clubs.
Yeah.
If I described a patch to you of having squared-off white rockers with blocky black text, and the centerpiece was a skull wearing a bandana, that probably names about a dozen fucking clubs.
Yeah, precisely.
or a skeleton wearing a sombrero with 2 crossed pistols. Yeah. Or it's a lot of recycled imagery and a lot of recycled names, and it's all these trends, but like you said, it's the same clubs over and over again, and everyone says these ideas of, oh, well, it has to be this way or it has to be that way. It doesn't. We kind of make up our own rules, but it's one of those things where you don't have to have a patch set up a certain way. You don't have to have a 1% diamond on the left side, or you don't have to have if you do modded content with 5M stuff of how you organize flashes and that's all subjective.
Yeah.
And the real MC world is that way too. There's every club has their own individual standards for where patches go and what all this auxiliary stuff means and what all this extra stuff pertains to and where it can be placed. That's all their own club's fucking rules. Now there may be some crossover here and there, but it's not anybody else's decision to make.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems so Bogarty and everything, you know what I'm saying? Saying that any 1% club has to be like this goes against the fundamental beliefs of a 1% club. It is literally about not giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? And not...
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because in the real world, sure, I'll agree with you. In the context of GTA, 1% means something fairly specific.
Well, yeah,
within the context of GTA, 1% is mostly combat rules. That's really what that diamond is meant to represent in this environment. In terms of the real world, a 1% diamond means very different things. In this context, it's something that got taken from the real MC community and sort of adapted to this community.
Yeah.
And we made it mean something else here. It's not quite the same thing.
Well, I also feel like the same thing could be said for the real world as well. 1% is designated as a specific thing, that being a criminal motorcycle club instead of a 99 just like riding club like the Carolina Crusaders and the Banditos. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. There is a yes and no to that. Yeah. That was a long segment for that question, but that was a lot of good information covered there.
Intriguing.
Yeah, very, very. So, I guess kind of branching off from this exact same topic, actually, what are the core values or attributes that you have in your club, and how would you say that they guide the actions and decisions of your organization?
Well, we do have, some 4 core values we kind of go by.
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty, trust, honor, and respect. That goes beyond the whole club as a whole. Each chapter individually, each chapter has its own culture going on, its own thing, but we still are all under the same rattlehead as a brotherhood that everybody should uphold the core values of what it means to be a member of this club.
Mm.
Those are ours, but you guys have yours.
Of course, yeah.
But hold each other accountable. Look out for each other. It's not a one-man show. Like, you have to depend on your people.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
your brother's keeper.
Yep.
Yeah, precisely. It's like a circle of accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has to keep everybody in check, because all it takes is one frayed end and the whole rope comes undone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, give me just a second. There we go. Okay. Here's kind of a topic that, this one's a little bit on the spicy end. What is your guys' opinion, professional opinion, on minors in the community?
If people want to dig holes underground, I don't see why that should impact their ability to play video games. I agree.
Legally, fracking, of course, call 811, all that standard stuff.
The children yearn for the mines.
Yes.
It's a weird question, because it's a weird situation. Theoretically, nobody under the age of 18 should be able to have this game, but we all know that that's not how this works.
Sure.
I don't think that there's really that much of an issue with, again, kids and engaging in a fantasy and playing a video game and wanting to be part of a community or find their people or wherever they may end up fitting in. I think it's a weird line to toe, though, because you do end up having some strange conversations, and you end up having conversations that are probably not appropriate for the vast majority of teenagers that play this game. And that's a weird thing to have, and it's at the same time you end up with grown ass men that act like children.
Yeah,
And I've met 15-year-olds through this that can carry themselves through a conversation with more confidence and poise than dudes that I know for a fact are fathers. Like, so it's a really sort of case by case basis. As a general rule, Exiled doesn't, our minimum is 18. We have made exceptions to that on case by case basis of certain people that carried themselves well and could fit into a conversation. I mean, we've had brothers in this club that we've watched grow up that they were some punk fucking high school sophomore or freshman that are now adults because they've been here long enough. Like talking about moving out on their own and getting jobs and what their choices for college are or all of that shit. I mean it's kind of cool because it becomes you feel like you're a bigger part of their life than they are.
Yeah. Definitely.
But you can never stop fucking weirdos from being weirdos on the internet. Unfortunately, this platform, on any platform, if it's YouTube, Instagram...
On any platform where you can hide your identity.
Yes, it's so easy to do that, and you could never stop that.
You, quote unquote. People are fucking weird in this
community.
Dirk,
you kind of have a unique, or scumbag for the people listening or watching to this lately. Yeah. You have a somewhat more unique perspective on this particular subject.
Ooh, tell.
Is it because I'm a woman?
Not to put you on the spot, but
is it because I'm a woman? Like, are you?
That's one of it. Is that you're a woman?
I joined this club when I was in high school.
Both.
Okay. Yeah. So, I am not a 12-year-old boy. Just for the record, because I have a man character. I'm a 24-year-old woman, and I play as a dude on this game to anonymously keep weirdos away from me, because just seeing the women that, like e-daters and shit, dude, and I'm married, so, like, that's, but, like, just seeing, like, the women, like, I gotta give it to the females and women in this community that do publicly show their face and stuff. It's like, y'all are brave, because, like, I don't show my face or anything, but, like, the moment you reveal you're a female in, like, these MC Discord chats, it's like,
oh, God.
Whale, I'm gonna make me a sandwich, whale.
Yeah.
We were having a somewhat totally chill conversation, like, less than a minute ago, and it's like, oh, you're a woman and you're playing on a dude character, you're a fucking tranny. Like, I don't care about that. But, like, it's just like, how are you gonna switch up on your opinion of me that quick just because because that detail was made apparent? You know what I mean? But, in terms of minors in this community, this club has literally watched me grow up. I joined when I was like a junior in high school. This club has watched me graduate, move out, and get married, all in the span of 7 years. It will be this upcoming March.
Damn.
So, I've encountered some weird people in this community because, like, especially before I was in Exile. Like, Exile is not my first club. I was in several clubs before I joined Exile back in 2017. And, as a minor female on an online game community, the shit you encounter, my friend, is really weird.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Really, though.
But really, my stance on it is, like, with Exile stance, it's basically like, the whole case by case scenario. Like, they're able to carry, like, it's like a 17-year-old, whatever. Like, they're able to carry themselves and have better candor and maturity to understand, like, compared to a grown 40-year-old man who claims he's this big bad president of this fucking digital motorcycle club, and is like, yeah, I just took a shit on you. I dog walked you in that lobby. I took your patch, L's. Like, and meanwhile, you know, that kid's probably like, wow, you're a.
Did you die?
No,
Yeah.
PHAG. PHAG. That's all I'm saying.
You try not to get us canceled.
We're trying not to get canceled, y'all. I'm sorry.
A British cigarette.
A British
Oh,
cigarette.
we're not making no tight bread off this, so it's all good.
No.
But you gotta wonder, like, some of these kids in the community is whether or not is like, does that form their opinion? Like, are all adults this fucking way? Like, do they not know how to function? Is everybody the same? And the reality of it is, you know, high school never kind of ends. The drama shifts. And instead of being the people in your class, it's the people you fucking work with or whatever. People are petty. People bitch about the stupidest things and find the strangest hills to die on about whatever subject it may be. And people love gossip. They love drama. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how old they are. That never changes.
I think it shows your true colors because it's easy to say whatever on the internet because you're hiding behind a TV screen and you have a microphone. You don't have that person directly in front of your face. Like you probably wouldn't say a lot of the shit that you're talking shit to somebody on here in person, you know? Like, there's no way this guy you have beef with in person, you would walk up and say, hey, go fuck, you know, a lot of people on the internet are not. You know, it's so easy for you to be a toxic person, and unfortunately I think that makes people show their true colors on a platform like this, and that's where, you know, a question earlier was like, why is this kind of communities focused on like the fighting and like the drama and kind of what Gunslinger is, because it allows people to be fucking toxic losers and immature assholes, and unfortunately that's how people are in this kind of today's world too. And online gaming in general has kind of changed. It's not just from GTA and the MC community, like other games like Call of Duty or whatever, you can tell like how people are different than how it was 10 years ago when you were playing in high school or whatever. I think it sucks. It's cool that you can talk to somebody on a real note like this, like with you guys. We're having a conversation, like it's chill. Like this is like how maybe I would talk to you guys in person too. But for some people, it allows them to be a fag. I'll say it. I'll get canceled.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poise and rationality. Anyway, so that was a great response, by the way.
You did not just do that.
I'm panicking at the disco right now.
Let's go, dude.
Oh man! Oh, this is great.
This is fantastic. Well, I have one more little quick one. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can wrap things up, because I appreciate y'all's time. I know I've been fucking yammering and yapping on about all nonsense, but one thing that I like to ask pretty much everybody, obviously, you know what I'm saying, the next installment, GTA 6, just a real quick, what's something that you guys want to see specifically for the biker community in the next GTA? It could be anything, just little stuff, big stuff, whatever.
Better bikes.
Yeah, like better customization.
Yeah, like, allow me to put.
I want to make a club-style Damon. Goddammit.
Allow us to have be able to change like say for example the Sovereign.
Or like the Hexer. Do a whole lot more with the Hexer.
Yeah.
Of course, my phone goes.
The way things are going, I kind of just hope we can, still have crews and wear patches. Because, I mean, Rockstar has kind of been like, you couldn't do anything really with Social Club with Red Dead, and I'm hoping that that's still going to be a thing in a year and a half or however long it's going to be before it comes out. But I think the MC community is still going to exist in whatever capacity. It's probably going to be very different than it is now, but it'll still exist. It existed before this game on GTA 4 when it had very limited shit. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything's kind of speculation at this point.
We're just gonna play this game forever.
It's gonna be forever and ever.
Fuck.
It's still like the
I can't wait.
top-selling game.
I can't wait for GTA 5 to come out on the PlayStation 7.
Yeah.
GTA Online is not just a game; it's a way of
It's
life.
still like $60.
Oh, actually,
What they're gonna do is they're just gonna
Don't
add.
even say that.
They're just gonna add KO Perico as a map option next year to GTA 5, and be like, "Yep, this is what we're doing."
Well, it took them this long to add animals to the game.
Yeah, really, like that's like a default thing that every game in 2024 should
Well,
have.
it's
like,
they didn't really even add them. They just put them into online. They've been in single player since the game came out fucking a decade ago.
All the biker shit we want is in story mode. I'm Lost MC. All, you know what I'm saying? They got the flashes, the rings, the fucking beards, all that shit. Like, all they gotta do is put it to online. We're not asking them to recreate some shit. Just move the shit over. Like, fuck, how hard is that? But alright.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I don't even like as far as stuff I'd like added to this game. I just want all the vanilla bikes, like the stuff, like the old school shit. I want an updated version that I can customize. I want a customizable bagger. I want a customizable hexer. I want like a biker update customizable sovereign, and that goes for the sport bikes too. You know, the Batty 801, the PCJ 600, the Carbon RR, then the Principe Nemesis. All these, like all those bikes, like you can do that. It's all existing assets that are already in the game. You just need to add some more modern textures to them and be able to change parts out that also already are in the game.
What we got to do is we need to go all down to Rockstar, boycott them. We need every president from each 1% club that has 7+ years to talk terms with Rockstar. Fuck it.
So it's funny that you say that because you said you did a lot of research before you started the club. Before the biker update came out back in 2016, there was a petition going around that had I don't know how many fucking signatures on it. It was well.
Was it Papa Wolf the one who made the video on it?
Him and Banished Breed made a video on it, and along with GTA series videos, and it was a big collaboration. But there was a massive petition that had several thousand, like well into the 5, maybe 6-figure range of people wanting a biker update. And if you watch that original video, there's a screen that shows all of these different clubs that have come together to band together for. Asking Rockstar for a biker update. We're on the bottom left.
Oh, it's the bottom left.
Yeah.
Like we're in that fucking like video. We've been petitioning that from the start. But the other thing is, it's now been coming up on 8 years. It'll be 8 years this October since the biker update dropped. If they were gonna do another one, they would have done it by now. So I think that ship sailed. It's a great idea. I love the idea of the community coming together for some sort of cause, but I don't think Rockstar is going to do that in any direct way anyway.
They might just take our vests away this time instead of the bikes.
Yeah. Well, the biker update performed the worst for them financially. That's one of the reasons they didn't get a sequel, was that they didn't make as much money off of this as they did other updates, because the biker update, all the businesses were fairly reasonably priced and they paid you back really quickly, so they didn't sell a bunch of shark cards.
Yeah, you all right too. So a little off topic, yeah, you guys can find that video that they were talking about on Banished One's MC. They're just called Banished Ones on YouTube. Video has over 624K views, and these boys are in, you know what I'm saying, the bottom left 7 years ago, so, you know what I'm saying, much respect. You know what I'm saying, that's definitely part of that, you know what I'm saying, petition, you know, for the update that we had.
But that's going to conclude my question segment. I appreciate you boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, lads, thank you very much for your time. And I believe that Kush here, Mr. Kush, has a few words for you.
Yup. You said earlier, one of your sentences or whatever really rushed my mind. It said we're under the same rattlesnake. Does that have to do with your patch?
So I said we're all under the same rattlehead.
I know the snake trail too. Your guys' pathway. You guys, you know what I'm saying? Got that shit's fire.
So when I reference the rattlehead, kind of it's our centerpiece. We all rock the same patch. It's basically what that means. You know, it doesn't matter what chapter you're under, what rank, what position you hold. You're still your brother's keeper. You're still a member. You know, a position doesn't make up, you know, you as like a member of the club. Like, the club comes first, and everyone should come before you. That's kind of like how the mindset should be, at least how I look at it. Especially being a president, you know, especially from the very beginning, a founder. I put my people before myself. I mean, that's how the mentality should be.
True that. So, how did y'all come up with like the center patch and the name Exiled and everything?
Well, that kind of comes from like our origins. We were the founding fathers came from a different club. This is a part of our history. You can go on our website. You know, this is something you can read actually. We were a Suns crew before Exile, coming from Auto Aim and then coming into Free Aim. A very well-established Suns crew in Auto Aim. Auto Aim had a very healthy MC community as well. Not in the same caliber as the Free Aim community at that time. The Free Aim MC community was definitely on par and way better. But I think to this day they still have a community too. But founding fathers of Exiled were all part of a Sons of Anarchy club. And we came over here. The way things turned out with members of that club, you know, didn't work out. We left, did our own thing. They came back, you know, tried to revive the club under a new thing, and we were Exiled. And that's kind of where our name came from. And we were, even coming into the community, like, we were not very liked. You know, I like to say we were kind of like that to this day. I know, you know, there's a lot of respect and we've been around. But we are also not very liked to this day, too. There's a lot of people that still shoot us, and that's fine. But, that's just kind of our whole origin story away, but,
Well, I think that's also gone along with us finding new people, and a real reason that a lot of the people that stay here or that end up finding us stay here is because everybody that I can think of in this club has a somewhat similar backstory, in the sense that they were part of some group or some collective or whatever that they felt that they were contributing to, and suddenly they were an outsider. They were exiled. They were, you know, they had that taken away from them in some fashion, and they felt rejected. And that's sort of how a lot of people have ended up finding us, and I think it's why a lot of those people have stayed here for so long, is because we're, you know, the club's motto is only men exiled together know the true meaning of brotherhood, and that still rings true almost a decade later. All of us have been through some sort of hardship or loss in some sort of collective group where we got pushed out or we got cast aside, and whatever, you know, led you from that place to here, we all understand that, and that's sort of why we all fit.
True that. Great answer, great backstory, bro. I'm just going to get in my next. This will be my last question. What sparked y'all in the community? Like, what made Exile spark and make it so big and interesting and everything, and make it like keep hold in this community?
Well, I think one thing is just doing our own thing. I mean, just mind our own business. We never really being around. We've lost members. You know, we've had people who've been here longer than a lot of clubs in the community. But trust me, we've had being around for as long as we've had. We've lost people. People have left. So for us too, like from the very beginning though, it's been nothing but like success and ups. Like kind of what we said earlier, like the only thing that would really like take us apart is like an internal thing. There's nothing from an outside force that could ever like I think that would ever like shut this club down or, you know, put it in a position where we're not where we are now. So I'm sorry, I'm really high and I kind of lost what I'm saying.
So, to the question though, like we weren't always a big club. This has been a continual thing. It's been a growth thing. The club started with 13 members in a single chapter. We now have over 30 people. Or I'd have to take a check. I know it's into the 30s, and we have three different chapters, and it's that's been a continual growth thing. We don't go on mass recruiting rampages. We don't have large groups of hangarounds and prospects come through at any given point. It's been a consistent, you know, gradual thing. Everything has been very organic. And I know, like, a lot of clubs will start, and they'll decide they want to start a club, and they'll have 3, 4, 5 fucking chapters with, you know, a bunch of different bottom rockers, but you go to the social club crew, and it's the same 6 or 7 guys in all the crews. That, oh, well, this is our chapter for this, and this is our chapter for that, and it's, well, you don't actually have multiple chapters. The club itself only has, like, 8 people in it, and you just keep spreading them out with different patches. The club has grown organically and consistently over the last 9 years, but I mean, we kind of keep circling back to that. You know, why are we here? What's our drive? What do we keep doing? It's the people that are in the club, and like Kringle said, we've had turnover. We've had plenty of people that have come and gone over that time frame. I feel like we've had far less of that than a lot of other clubs because of our vetting process, because of the level of dedication that we attach to it outside of the game, in the sense that, you know, your personality and your level of engagement is far more important than what your KD ratio is, or how good of a shooter you are, or how often you can play, you know, GTA. It has much more to do with how well your personality meshes and how well, you know, you fit with the mindset of the club. So yeah, we've had people leave. We've had plenty of people leave over the years, but we've also we've gained more than we've lost over that time frame.
True that, man. True that. There's always like to say quality over quantity, you know.
It's always quality over quantity, but quantity matters. I mean, you know, you can't have a club with nobody in it. Like
True that.
A lot of these guys, and I see recruitment posts all the time, is somebody, I'm starting a new club, I need to find my first 9, or something like that. First off, you don't need 9 people to start a fucking club. And secondly, if you don't have a group of people that you already treat like your fucking brothers, or that, you know, you kind of act like a club around, then you don't need to start a club, because then they're not joining, whoever you're recruiting's not joining a club, they're joining you, that one person. That's not a club.
True that, man. I love that answer, for real.
Yeah, I like how you I like that answer on that, man. Like a lot of people before they start a club, they definitely try to like just give anybody a free patch. Like here, you know what I'm saying, I was a very, you know, only founder, you know what I'm saying, started off me by myself, and our first 9 is the very first, you know, 9 people to earn a patch here. Not just, we didn't just give out a patch, you know, and you know what I'm saying. So, you know, we try to make it, you know, different and unique in a sense, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I definitely like that, you know, what you said there.
I would like to answer this question as well.
Go ahead.
This is more so on the perspective of, like, the outside looking in, like, at least from how I personally felt, because like I remember, like I saw Exiled like right around when I came into the community, like it was like 2016. I remember seeing them and I was like, damn, their shit looks cool. Like,
hell yeah.
But so like for me, like, I mean, with that
does.
being exactly, and that with what that's my point with like that being my personal experience and like being one of the, like, aside from like only men exiled together know the true meaning of brotherhood, aside from that, like this from the outside looking in, this club, we've done a very good job of establishing our like insignia, like our signature, like, you know, our club colors are orange and cream and you know, some brown and some tan, sure, but like we're able to, like, our members are able to rep their colors in their own unique way. Like, we're like you know, whenever you look at group photos, it's like, oh hey, like, you know, there's Kringle over there in the corner. There's Rattler staring at a wall because he's blind. Like, like, you're able to pick out who, like, each person in the picture is, because we're able to basically, like, show off our colors in our own unique way, and that makes us stand out.
Yeah. Everybody got their own, you know, individual presence, you know what I'm saying?
And like their own
We
style.
don't have a uniform.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have to wear the same shirt and pants, and we don't all have ride around on matching bikes, and it kind of used to be that way. That was a weird thing that happened after the bike update.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know you guys got the famous helmets, you know what I'm saying? The famous snakeskin helmets. You know what I'm saying?
That's like that's the closest thing we have to a uniform.
That also was a weird thing though. Like, once we started doing that, because we just showed up to, like, we started showing up to events or whatever we would ride, we'd all rock the snakeskin helmets, and it just kind of became a thing. But like, we started noticing after we started doing that, we'd run into other clubs and they're like, all of them would all have like the same matching helmet. Like, they'd all show up on their different bikes, or they'd show up in their different outfits, but they'd all show up rocking the same helmet. I remember a couple different clubs doing that.
Kind of set a trend for, you know what I'm saying, for a minute there.
And it's cool. Like, if that's what people are into, that's, you know, like, I'm cool with it. But you know, kind of what I was saying is that it was. We don't have, like, that's the closest, like Dark said, that's the closest thing we have to a uniform. But that's really only, like, that's informal. Like, we don't always do that. That's usually for events or something along those lines, where we know we're going to be seen as a group by other people. Yeah. It's that small level of uniformity. It goes back to what Kringle was saying earlier about how we're all the same underneath the patch. We all have the same top rocker. We all have the same centerpiece. But that's all that matters. The bottom rocker doesn't matter. The rank doesn't matter. Whatever fucking, like, pants, shoes, shirt, whatever, what kind of bike you're riding, all that doesn't matter. We're all members of the same club.
Makes sense.
We used to kind of have some uniformity shit like that, and that was all pre-biker update. Like, we all had
baggers.
We all had club baggers. They all had to be crew-colored baggers. They were all basically the same. We all had
stocked at the same engine level. So when we go on a ride, we all got the same speed, kind of thing.
Yeah, we all had we rocked the old school brown suede jackets all the time.
You know, your identity, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was one of the neat things about, because before the biker update, we didn't have as many options. You didn't have as many tattoos. You didn't have cuts. You didn't have all these other, like, all the different boots, and, like, they added a shitload of stuff. Like, you only had like 4 bike options. You could either have a Damon, a Bagger, a Hexer, or like a fucking Sovereign.
Now it's
or maybe an Innovation. There were some weird people that, like, I don't think the Innovation's really good, but like,
that was my go-to when it came out.
Yeah, but like, we didn't have that many options, so everybody showed up on one of like 4 or 5 bikes, and you only had like 10 different jackets that you could wear, and half of those looked really stupid. So like you had to, like, you were really limited with what you could and couldn't do before the biker update came out. One of my favorite memories of this game, of this club, is the day after the biker update came out, when we had fucking probably 20-something people on that day, and everybody, like all of their characters and their personality immediately came out because they had all these they had all these different customization options, their bikes, their clothes, their tattoos, all of it. All of that came out, and we were all just rocking the patch in one way or another, but everybody had their own kind of flavor to it that we couldn't have before, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I... Whoa. Alright. Well, that's all the questions I got. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this back to Crazyboy. Let this thing get wrapped up.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's definitely been amazing. You know, you done covered a lot of ground. You know, had some brilliant answers, you know, to the questions we supplied. Before I go ahead and do the outro, is there anybody from Exiled, you know, that would like to add anything? Or even ask us something?
I can't ask the question I normally do.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
I will after this, but it's like the reason I've been quiet. Yeah, you know what's going. But the reason I haven't really answered much, and I apologize for that. But I got a pup that likes to be, you know, a menace to me. So, but like go back to the one question like everybody was asking was like what stood out as far as like the new people that was coming in. Like as far as like the four of us that's here, like I'm the freshest patch that's here. And how I noticed Exiled, and like I was, like Gunslinger said, that we all felt that one, like we were being pushed out of where we were at before, and that, you know, that it makes sense for me, because in the club I was in, I was slowly being, lack of a better term, exiled out of it, because it's just how the people were acting. And like I ran across them, they were literally in a lobby, and they were just writing in formation, and I was like, damn, that's something you didn't see right where I was at, like. You know, they didn't do that. But it was something to see. So when all that fell apart, like I started hanging around, and like I can speak for myself, but like I've been here for almost 2 years, and it's like it seems like I've been here longer. Yeah, it's just the way everybody meshes together, and it's like a giant family here. Like we look at each other's, like not just in a gaming world, but in a personal world as well. And it's something that's unique with us. But
everybody's equal over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't, nobody is, you know, any different. But to ask the question that I usually do, I don't know if I should, you know, do the persona in general, but. I usually my go-to question to everybody is, do I got things outfit too?
Yeah, do the whole thing, man.
Oh man. So yeah, everybody like, you know, my gamer tag is Diablo, but I have an alter ego that comes out like a lot, and you know, his name is Daryl, but the R is silent. So the question is, you want dip?
Oh, hell yeah.
I just realized you put on the fucking outfit.
I am known. Man, you gotta have the swamp toad. You gotta have the swamp toad here and there. It adds a little bit of flavor to the dip when you get it. If anybody wants dip, just raise your hand and I'll walk around.
The short stuff.
It's a stone toad special.
You do got some strong knees, though.
Yeah, really?
Hey, Diablo, I got a question for you real quick.
What's that?
With your accent, I want to know where you're from, if you don't mind answering that question.
I don't care to answer it. I am from the state of Kentucky.
I'm from West
Southeastern.
I'm right across the river from you, buddy. We lit.
I'm southeastern part, so I'm more southern than anything.
Yeah.
If you can't tell by the sound.
Is Scumbag there? Is Scumbag on mic?
I am. What's up?
Yeah. So for the viewers out there, this is the real Scumbag.
This is the real me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That other guy, that dude just wants my autograph, man. I don't know what to tell you.
What a fan.
Really appreciate
it's the whole thing's a whole new level of fan energy that we haven't had to deal with before.
Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and add anything, you know, about that situation for the view before we wrap it up, because I know that's very frustrating. I couldn't even imagine dealing with something like that. But in a way, man, like I kind of feel good that you.
Oh, you cut out.
You see what I'm saying? Like how they do a Hell's Angel patch or a Sons of Anarchy patch. You know, these guys really fanboyed, you know, so much to actually go out their way to. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
That is true.
It's a lot of extra effort. We kind of you gotta laugh at it at a certain point, like that.
I mean, like you gotta be a huge fan. Honestly, Scumbag, you should feel honored because that's like. You know what I'm saying? Imagine having a fan that's so hardcore that they name themselves after you. That's crazy.
Well, it's not even just that. There's other clubs that will like they come at us and fight, and they literally will change their clothes to wear orange when they fight us, and it's like
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they'll have their whole outfits. Like they'll wear like they look like a traffic.
We got our Exiled war outfit on. Yeah. We're gonna fight. I gotta put on my t-shirt. Like, dude, there's so much weird shit out there. The funny thing about the copycat like crew that is trying real hard to be us, I don't really know what their motivation is. I don't know what their end game is. That's the other thing. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with it. But it's so ridiculous that I gotta think that they're laughing to themselves, that they think it's just the greatest thing on the fucking planet. What they don't understand is that mostly we're laughing at them for it being stupid. We're not like super mad about it. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? We gotta figure out who the fuck this is. We gotta take this. Like, it's like, yeah, we'll handle it. But like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, is there much we can do about it? Nah. But at the same time, like, you guys are fucking trolls. Like, what are you talking? Like, fuck off, go away. Like, you're not.
I'll say I appreciate the people looking out for us, saying, hey, like, you guys are fucking phonies. Like, we know you guys aren't like the real. Like, you guys, for instance. Like, there's a lot of people that said, hey, like. There's these fucking losers like pretending to be you guys. Like we know, like this isn't you. Like I love that response more from like the people that like, you know, the respect, the real recognizing real. You know, I don't give a fuck about the losers who are doing that. Like Gunsinger said, you can't stop people from doing something like that. They're gonna do it. I appreciate the response of people who are like, hey, like these people are out there doing it. Like we just want to let you guys know, or. You know, blah blah blah. Like that was really cool, and I want to say I appreciate those people. You know, looking out for us like that.
Because after a while, you know, it'll die off if you don't show them the attention that they want. You know what I'm saying?
That's all it is. The thing that will keep that alive is the attention, for sure.
Yeah. So that is it for the 9th episode of Chatting and Gassing. We really appreciate everybody available, you know, that came out tonight. Also, much love to the supporters out there, showing love to the talk show. You guys give us the drive to get these amazing clubs out here for this series. Until next time, folks.